Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about the film Magnificent Seven. So I got to see, Magnificent Seven came out, like on Friday, but you could go see the early screenings on Thursday. So I saw this like almost the first minute you could see this film. I was super hyped about this film, and it did not let me down. Actually, 5 stars across the board. This is, by the way, this is my spoilers review, right? And so this movie was amazing, right? It was just fantastic. I believe this is the best modern Western I've ever seen, and I've seen most of them. So when I say modern Western, I mean a Western that has come out since 1990. And I think I've seen them, the vast majority of them, if not all of them, that have made over $50 million. Like it went straight to DVD or something. I'm not counting that, but like Unforgiven, and The Quick and the Dead, 3:10 to Yuma, Back to the Future 3. Like if it was a Western and it had a pretty big cast, this is the best of all of them. This is the best Western I have ever seen, bar none. There are a ton of great reasons to see this movie. If you are a fan of Westerns, you're in. Like, it will not let you down. It is a great Western. If you are a Denzel Washington fan, it's worth seeing it just for him alone. If you're a Chris Pratt fan, worth seeing it for him alone. One thing that was really unique about this film, I actually do care about diversity in Hollywood films, right? So I really would like to see all the different races that populate America. I would really love to see those populated in American film. And so this one, there were Asian people, Native Americans, black people. There were lots of Caucasians, but it had a really. There was a Hispanic person. It had by far the best diversity I've ever seen in any Western film. So if you care about diversity in films, go see this movie, because it's really going to help those kind of movies continue to get made. And so, just a peerless Western film. Really, really liked it. Right, so I'll give you a synopsis of the story. So, this movie is really spearheaded. It rests on a foundation of Denzel Washington's work, right? Chris Pratt is in there as well. So, Chris Pratt is a major up-and-coming superstar. He is great in this movie, really funny, but he really takes a back seat to Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington is flat out the star of this film, and I thought he did a fantastic job. He did a really, really good job. He plays Sam Chisholm, a warranted bounty hunter, a warranted, like arrest. He had a specific term for it, but it was like a duly warranted, like writ officer. There was like some fancy words for it, but he essentially was a bounty hunter, and he is just like portrayed as this super bad dude. Like if he walks in the room and he's there to get a bounty, and anyone's going to get in that way of him, he's going to kill him, right? And it's just that flat. And he has the speed and the precision to back that up. So he really did a great job. He could ride his horse extremely well. He had a really powerful presence. He was intimidating, and he used all these in the movie as a tool. And the other thing was his gun, right? So he was a single, he used a single pistol, and I'm pretty sure it was a Colt Peacemaker. And it was really interesting because he had that pistol in, when you watch these movies, if you care about Westerns, you're going to care about how pistols are oriented and what type of draw they have. And so he had this super funky draw where the butt of his gun actually faced to the opponent. And it was this really weird, like, a lot of dudes put their gun right on their thigh, and then, you know, it lands just right where their hand would land, and it's just a little bit of time for them to get their gun there. But he had this super weird, like, rig where it faced backwards, and he had to twist his hand around. But they showed it, and they showed the way he used it. And I've also seen a trick shooter who draws this way, and this trick shooter is absolutely amazing. So you absolutely can draw quickly this way and be incredibly deadly accurate. So, but it was really unusual, and I really like that too. I like that, like, every single gunfighter in this movie had a really unique, different draw, and there was a lot of attention paid to, here's how this holster is oriented, here's how this specific gunfighter draws his weapon. It was so good. It was just a really good film. Chris Pratt, he was a pretty straightforward gunfighter as well. He used two guns, right? So he was a kind of a dual marksman. And he also incorporated card tricks into his shtick, right? And so he would kind of distract people with card tricks, and then and then shoot them, which was kind of unusual. He did a lot of close-up fighting, and actually kind of used his charm as well. Sam Chisholm, I think his name was James Horn. Chris Pratt's character was James Horn, and then Denzel Washington's character was Sam Chisholm, and the two of them are just, I mean, this entire movie is like a race of who is the baddest dude on screen. And it was a really good race. Like, Chris Pratt was really more funny. He wasn't, he was very dangerous in the film. He wasn't completely, like, comedy relief, but he definitely served some comedy relief role. That was a distinct part of his character. There was a Native American in this Native American that joined them. He went by the name of Red Harvest. And I'm pretty sure the guy's name was Jason Sensemeyer. He did a fantastic job with this role. Really, really good actor. And he used, really good close-up fighting. Amazing horsemanship, right? And by the way, the horses in this movie were dead on fantastic. They just did such a good job of getting all these, like, gorgeous crane shots of, like dozens of horses running across the plain, and all the stuntmen must have been just amazing horsemen. Showed us some really amazing horsemanship. Man, this movie was it was fantastic, right? Just could not say enough. Like, really, really well executed. Really cared a lot about the details of the film. Really, just knockout. Really just fantastic film. And so the Red Harvest, one of the things that was really distinctly interesting about Red Harvest, the Native American character, was his archery. So, the whole movie, most of the movie takes place in this town that they have to save from a bad guy who essentially is land grabbing, right? So this Native American character spends a lot of the time on these roofs in the city, in the town that they're saving, and he's firing these arrows down from essentially what's like a longbow, right? And he just wrecks people left and right, which there's lots of people killing people in this movie. The gunslingers are killing people left and right, but it's really, really unique the way Red Harvest does it, because he does some things with a bow that really can't be done with guns, and also it's silent. Like, he's just stalking from on high, and he's just taking people out left and right. And also there's kind of almost like a visceral horror in getting killed by an arrow that you don't really get with a gun, right? And so his character was really, really fantastic. Very, very interesting and unique. There was an Asian character. I believe he was supposed to be from Japan, perhaps China. I wasn't able to tell the difference. The character went by the name of Billy in the film, and he was a knife expert. So he was really good with throwing knives, and he was really good with close-up combat, with the knives, slicing, stabbing, throwing, and they did a fantastic job of just showing how he used these weapons in a unique way, and a really, really unusual character. He was really paired well from a story perspective with this character that went by the name of Goodnight Robichaux, who I believe was a Confederate soldier and like a Confederate officer, a sharpshooter, played fantastically by Ethan Hawke. I'm a big fan of Ethan Hawke. I think the best film he ever did was with Denzel Washington. That's Training Day. Training Day is a really special movie to me. I really like it. I think it's one of the best films out there that is of contemporary. It's like a good film that is contemporary, made from a contemporary fiction base, not genre material. And Goodnight Robichaux, he was a character who really had a lot of mental problems and was really suffering from what he had done in the Civil War. And I thought Ethan Hawke, like this movie, it moved fast. It had an incredibly good pace. So Ethan Hawke didn't have a lot of time to establish all his angst, but he did it, really quickly and really well. It actually added to the story. It didn't take away from the pace too much. Just, great character role by Ethan Hawke. D'Onofrio was in this film. He played like this tracker type. And he was like a really big, burly, like, heavy, kind of a heavy set, tracker. And, like real kind of rough and tumble, almost like a Theodore Roosevelt type. And he did a really good job. His acting was, just spot on. He had this really, what he brought to the role was so unique. Like, you have this, all these silent dudes and all these, like, dudes talking in these deep voices. And he came at the role with, like, this super high voice, almost like a girl. It sounded like, like this super high voice. But he also, like, it seemed like if you were paying attention, he had, like, I feel like evangelical Christian overtones. Like, he was constantly talking about the Bible. Like, he didn't kill indiscriminately. He was really careful about how he interacted with people. And just a really, really unique character. One of the things I loved about this film was they made every character unique, and they really gave them their own style. And you got to see some of the backstory and some of the uniqueness of these characters done very, very quickly, right? Like, I'm cool with your story, man, but you got to tell it fast, right? And that's what I loved about this film, is it told the story quickly. And it was really, really good. There was a lady who actually, she commissioned them. So this bad dude, like this robber baron, rolls in, and there's gold, there's gold on the land. So he offers everybody like $20 a piece for their plots and says, if you don't take that $20, I'm going to roll in here with an army of 200 men in about a week, and we'll just in about a month, and we'll kill everyone here, right? And so they do kill her husband. So she gathers up all the gold in the town, puts it into a rucksack, goes and finds Sam Chisholm and commissions him to help her save the town. Sam Chisholm gathers this, this crew of killers to defend the town, and then there's like these scenes where they get the town ready, right? And so the interaction between them and the townsfolks, very, very interesting. Now, some of the surprises for the film was who died. So only 3 people survived in the end. Sam Chisholm, Denzel Washington's character, Red Harvest survived, and also the Hispanic gunslinger survived as well. But Chris Pratt's character died, which I was shocked at. The Asian knife thrower died. The D'Onofrio died. And, there was one more in there, I think, that died, and it's escaping my mind right now. But, like the end is like 30, 40 minutes of just like constant gunfire and, just people getting shot left and right in all these really weird, unique circumstances. One of the other things they did a great job of was just showing how this battle went in stages and showing all the planning that Sam Chisholm, Denzel Washington's character, did and how that affected the battle, which was really, really fascinating. I can't say enough of this new movie. Really get out there and see it. I highly recommend it. and it was just fantastic. Some of the other things, it really was a very, very unique film. Oh, that's right. So one of the things they did that I thought was great in the movie was they showed the bad guys brought in a Gatling gun, and they just put this thing in a wagon, and they went through just 2 or 3 clips of a Gatling gun and showed what a Gatling gun could do. And I mean, you could kill easily 100 people with 2 or 3 clips from a Gatling gun, and it just showed what a devastating weapon it was for that time. And that's another thing this movie did, was it did a great job of featuring post-Civil War action. Just really, really unique from a perspective of history. But more than anything else, this is a great action movie. It's a great Western. It's a great Denzel Washington movie. It's a great Chris Pratt movie. It's a great diversity film. And it's just a good film. End of sentence. Excellent film. Take care, everybody.